In the late 80s, again, I moved back into the micronutrient work with tissue testing, both for copper and zinc. And then in the late 90s, we looked at manganese for lupins. Now, that work, Manganese for Lupins, actually was started in the department about the time I started my career. So I was lucky enough to be part of that research, and then in the mid to late 90s I was able to do some manganese work with the lupins. So at that particular point in time we were looking at the deep placement of manganese in the soil profile. Lupins grow on very sandy type soils, so we were able to place manganese deeper in the soil profile where it remained available to the lupin plant for a longer period of time through the growth of the lupin plant. Manganese is required in the seed set of lupins, so when your soil profile dries out in the late spring, when seeds are forming, often there wasn't enough manganese for the seed to produce, and the seeds actually split, and you ended up with a symptom called split seed in the lupins. So by placing the manganese fertiliser deeper in the profile, it remained in moist soil longer, and the seed was able to form and produce without splitting. So again, it reduced the cost to farmers, because split seed they couldn't sell, and also the manganese remained available to the plant longer. So at that particular point in time, as well as looking at deep placement of manganese in the soil profile, I also looked at the residual value of manganese. That is, how long the manganese remained available in the soil for the lupin plant. I was very lucky enough to, in the late 70s, residual value trials were started, and we were able to go back and measure the residual value on those particular trials in the late 90s. So again, we were able to show that manganese fertiliser for lupin production remained effective for about 17 years. So again, it reduced the cost to farmers from yearly applications of manganese. Manganese as a micronutrient tends to be more expensive than coppers and zincs and molybdenum because we apply it at higher rates, looking at 20 to 30 kilos of manganese sulphate per hectare, whereas coppers and zincs are only sort of 2 to 6s. So it's an expensive micronutrient for lupin production. So again, we reduced the cost to farmers by knowing that the manganese was applied did last for a certain length of time.